We've got the latest Lexus RX450 Hybrid.
The RX is the best seller from Lexus. Let's see why. Now, one thing you're going to notice is all the shots of this car were done before the snowfall came.
Yes.
But right now we're going to get into, Andrea, what's under the hood of this RX?
A 3.5-liter V6 engine with an ECVT and Lexus Hybrid Drive, a total combined 308 horsepower.
Now stick around for our hot topic. Somebody has a great question about, is this power plant going to stick around? But right now we're going to get into, what do you get with the Lexus RX Hybrid? What are the key standard features?
The base trim in Canada comes with an 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, heated and ventilated front seats, power driver and passenger seats, driver seat memory, heated rear seats, perforated leather seats, a heated steering wheel, a moonroof, and blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert.
They have the thing I love the most, Andrea, the trackpad.
Oh, yes.
What are we gonna,
all love the trackpad.
What are we going to put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe. And if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put out another one on Saturday.
So make sure you hit the button and the subscribe and all that, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below. This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit canadadrives.ca to learn more. Andrea, this is my best way to describe this vehicle, how you drive it. You just sit back and chill.
It's so true.
I'll be over here if you need me.
Look, he is the pro at taking naps. It doesn't matter what is going on, any sort of commotion, this one is out. I think it drives great. You know, at first I was thinking, okay, ECVT, but we've been in a lot of ECVTs by the Toyota Group, and they are good. This is refined. It feels smooth, and when you accelerate, you do hear a little noise in the cabin, but it quiets right down.
And you can get some good power out of this thing when you combine the gasoline engine that's running on the Atkinson cycle and the electric motor. By the way, that new Lexus NX Hybrid, it has the same drivetrain as the RAV4, but they take the electric motor out of this and use it in that product, so it gets more torque. So this is a fairly torquey electric motor. You know what, Andrea? I like all different kinds of cars. I like big luxury sedans. I like teeny weeny little city runabouts. I love a pickup truck, but I also have a soft spot for what I call traditional luxury, and that's what we've got.
That's what you can expect from Lexus every time you get into it. However, that new NX with the run flat tires, it's a little bit different. It gets a little noisy because of them. One thing about the steering in here, it is very light. It's easy to maneuver. It's got a pretty good turning radius. It is typical luxury at its best when it comes to the drive.
And there's a big market for this. A lot of people, especially people who are into YouTube videos, are all about power and send it and all that stuff. There's a huge market for luxury, relaxed, and refined, and that's what you get with this.
Lexus has nailed it.
All right, I'm going to tell you a little story about, we went to the launch in 2016. It was in Portland, Oregon, and we were told the story about Akio Toyoda came into the design studio before they were about to sign off on this, and he said, no, however he does in Japanese, and he said, not sharp enough.
Oh.
So at the 11th hour, the boss comes in and says, no, make the angle sharper and edgier, and that's what they did.
And maybe a bigger grille?
More cowbell.
I mean, this grille is big, and if you see it coming towards you, you know it's a Lexus, and maybe that's a good thing for the brand, that everyone recognizes a Lexus out there. It may not be my style, but I know a lot of people like it.
I'll take this grille over the new BMW grills.
Yeah, the 4 Series.
And the thing is, you get used to it, right? Like after a while, it's now just part of the landscape. We're kind of used to the way Lexi look. So yeah, overall it's quite sharp, and we're going to get into the dimensions in Questions, Coffee, and Cars and how this is actually quite big, but on space it's not the biggest.
No, and I really like this green color. It's called Nori Green Pearl. I think it's a beautiful color on this executive trim that we're driving.
And then when you take that sort of dark forest green green on the outside, and then you look at this two-tone interior, it screams traditional luxury.
It really does. Now, like I said, this is the top trim, so we get these extra features like the panoramic sunroof, a head-up display, a wireless charger, the power rear door with kick sensor, but it actually comes with a lot of standard features. If you want to move up, let's say you don't want to pay this top trim.
Wait a second, Andrea, before you go, I have to do the intro. Andrea always searches for what she thinks is the best value. Now back to you.
Okay, so if you don't want to spend this over $74,000 Canadian, you don't have to. If you want the luxury trim, which is under $68,000, I know, still pricey, but it is a Lexus. That's where you get the 20-inch wheels, and you get this 12.3-inch touchscreen, which is what I would want. Going from 8-inch to 12.3 inch is a big deal. That's this big size difference.
That's what I heard. Now, the other thing is the NX that just came out this past summer, actually just came to dealerships in the last month. The price of that thing is spendy, man. The 350, that's the new turbo 4-cylinder, is really expensive, and it's not much of a jump to get into a bigger vehicle, in my opinion, a nicer vehicle. Away you go.
So here's the thing with that NX. That hybrid starts at just under $50,000. This starts at $60,000, but the NX PHEV, where you get around the same horsepower as this, starts at around $60,000. So you've got to ask yourself, if you need the space, this RX is the one to get. That NX has the dimensions of more of a Q3, let's say.
Yeah, it's not big.
No.
And Andrea likes the bigger ones.
And I have to say, the other thing is the steering wheel is heated at 9 and 3, and we've got some wood on here, so it gets kind of cold. And also the heated seats, I wouldn't say that they get really hot. I like a hot seat.
Easy, Andrea, pump the brakes over there.
And the outside of the seats are not heated. So, you know what? I like the whole heat seated.
You almost said it. You were so close.
I like the whole seat heated.
I heard you. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Now, here's me getting in the back seat. Compared to that NX, this thing is quite sizably bigger and better for a family. The NX is surprisingly small.
It is. You know, in the second row, it has a flat floor. The seats recline and they slide. There's only one thing that I don't like back there is when you put your feet under the front seats, there's no room. The front seats are very low, so it's a little bit squishy when it comes to your toes.
Now, carry on a cooler. We have more coming up in Questions, Coffee, and Cars, but it did a fairly good job.
It did. I mean, it passed our cooler and carry-on tests with ease, but it's not best in class. Most of the others in this class offer more space.
Actually, it is coming up right now.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
The amount of RXs I see on the road in one day is crazy. They're so popular. Has Lexus updated the infotainment to also be a touchscreen in the new RX, or is it their old mouse pad controller type thing?
Well, it's both. You have the touchscreen, but you still have the mouse pad.
Yeah, so there were a lot of complaints that there was no touchscreen in here and you had to deal with this trackpad. It is definitely better with the touchscreen, but here's the problem. The touchscreen sits too far away, so it's
basically where the camera is there.
Yeah, so you really have to lean forward to use it. The other thing is, if you use the touchscreen and you want to get off of the part that you're in, then you have to use the menu or the back button on the trackpad to make the move. So now I'm kind of thinking I will just suffer through with the trackpad because there's too many steps.
I wanted to come into this with a clean mind and try the trackpad, and you know what? I hate it. I hate it. I think the Acura one is better.
Yeah.
This one, I tried to go from FM to satellite radio. I don't know, must have taken me 10 tries, and just didn't like it at all.
Yeah, so that was my problem. I tried to get to hits one, and I kept hitting something else, and then you're just like, no.
Well, that's the world telling you, Andrew, you should stop listening to hits one.
I like the poppy stuff, Zach. Do you think there will be a redesign coming soon? We've had this version for a few years now. We sure have.
Yeah.
2016. Guess what? This even has a CD player. Now, I'm trying to remember, Zach, in 2016, did I carry around my CD collection? I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Okay, this has the Mark Levinson sound system. I will say something in defense of the CD player. There are people, audiophiles, who like to have CD quality through their stereo system. If you're streaming from your phone, that's MP3, it's pretty low-grade audio. So people who like audio still like CDs, but it's still the same number of people who like manual transmissions. Like, come on, this is going away. This is all going to go to a touchscreen probably, and the sooner the better.
Well, we think it's probably going to have the new NX interior with the standard 14-inch touchscreen, which is great technology. I think that's what's going to happen. When? Well,
soon,
rumors are that it's going to come out maybe at the end of 2022 as a 2023 model, but that hasn't been confirmed by Lexus.
Now, we do a lot of videos on all different brands, and it's a very easy search to do. All you do is hit the search bar in YouTube, and what do?
Well, you just type in Motormouth and Lexus, and all of our Lexus reviews will come up. It's as easy as that. I like everything about the RX except the tiny trunk space. That's a deal breaker for me. Zach, you noticed that right away.
Well, I loaded in the camera gear just before we came here today, and I was paying extra attention to it. The load height is high, so the floor is high off the ground. So if you're short, that's something to think about. Sorry, if you're diminutive in size, that might be an issue for you. It's fairly wide and fairly deep, but then you have the rake of the rear window. That's where you're losing a lot of space.
This is small for this class for sure. You know, what do we compare this to? Look, other hybrids like the Santa Fe, the Tucson, the Venza, the Highlander, or do you compare it against gas models? Because there is a gas model like the X3, the X5, the GLE. If you pick any of those, they offer more cargo space behind the second row and more overall cargo capacity than this.
It's a tweener, really.
Yeah.
We had this parked right next to our Porsche Cayenne. It's about the same size when you look at them on the outside, but this cargo area is much smaller. And next is our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
I know it's old and nearing the end of its model run, but do you think it's still worth buying to get the great V6 hybrid that all the other midsize Toyotas, Highlander, Sienna have since moved away from?
So first of all, ace question. And I think you have to look at what they're doing on the Toyota side with their latest hybrid introductions. For the Highlander and for the Sienna, they got rid of the V6 hybrid and they went to a 4-cylinder hybrid. I don't think that will pass here. I think probably if they go to a 4-cylinder hybrid, it'll be turbocharged.
Okay, maybe. The new NX hybrid has around the same horsepower as the Highlander hybrid. It's that PHEV on the NX side that you get around the same horsepower as this. So that's a concern to me. I'd rather have the V6 with 308 horsepower than the Highlander or the Sienna with 243 horsepower, in my opinion, because I still get the best of both worlds. I get the power and I get awesome fuel economy.
So the question is, should you get one of these, kind of hedging your bets against the future? Now, Andrea, you wouldn't take this because you want the new tech on the inside.
That's the thing. I want to ditch this trackpad. I'm sick of it. So do I want the V6 or do I want the trackpad? I mean, that's kind of how you've got to weigh it out.
I've got a solution.
I'm going to go with the new tech.
I got a solution.
What's that, Zach?
You just get like a 2-year lease on one of these, or you just buy it for a couple of years. Excellent resale value.
Yeah.
There's no downside. You drive this for 2 years. You work your way through the trackpad. You'll probably figure it out by the end of the lease. And then when the new tech is available, you trade it in.
And do you know what else I can do? I can carry around my CD collection too, because I have a CD player in here. Because you know that's going to go in the new one, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bonus.
Yeah, from Hits 1. Well, we touched on it, the vital stats. What do you get with this vehicle? And Andrew's got some thoughts after the fact.
Let's start with pricing. The base trim is $60,000. The luxury, our best value trim, is just under $68,000. And the executive trim we're test driving is just over $74,000. JD Power gives the 2022 RX450 Hybrid an overall score of 83 out of 100. CarEdge states this Lexus will retain 50% of its value after 5 years.
Here's why you're here. The fuel economy. It gets 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 8.4 on the highway. That's 31 miles per gallon in the city, 28 miles per gallon on the highway. It can tow 3,500 pounds. Lexus offers a 4-year, 80,000 kilometer or 50,000 mile warranty.
I wanted to point out in the US, there's actually quite a low starting price on this RX Hybrid of $48,000. So you've got trims, but you also have packages, and then you have a la carte items. You can just get a heated steering wheel if you want for $150 US, or you could get heated and ventilated seats for $640 US. I mean, the list is endless.
And the thing is, this is made in Canada.
Yeah.
What's going on, eh? Made in Cambridge there, eh? All right, you know what? There's hybrids in the market. Now, they're not all luxury, they're not all traditional luxury, but they're worth looking at.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
First up is the Toyota Highlander Hybrid with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that's paired to Toyota's hybrid system. It is a combined 243 horsepower and a starting price of almost $46,500.
Next is the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. It has a 1.6-liter turbo 4-cylinder and an electric motor. Total system output, 226 horsepower, and a starting price of roughly $41,500.
The Toyota Venza has a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine matched with an ECVT and Toyota's hybrid system, producing 219 horsepower and has a starting price of just under $39,000.
Here's our used car alternative from CanadaDrives.ca. We've chosen the gasoline model of the RX, the RX350. This is a 2016 with just 34,805 kilometers on the clock, and it's being sold for $41,990. To find out more, click on the tab or in the link in the description below to see more vehicles in this category from CanadaDrives.ca. Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like the power of this hybrid.
And I like all the buttons and switches.
What I'd like to not see anymore is the trackpad.
I want that one too.
Okay, we both agree. Trackpad?
It's gotta go.
This RX Hybrid offers a smooth and refined drive, everything I would expect from Lexus.
You sit back and chill.
This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit CanadaDrives.ca to learn more.